right, I'm here with Brian Shul, and Brian's a very, very important man. He's been through quite a bit. I would tell the story, but I don't think it's going to be as powerful coming from me. So Brian, tell us who you are and what you're all about.
Well, I always like to tell people I'm the luckiest aviator they'll ever see out there, and I have been very lucky. I was a fighter pilot in the Air Force for 20 years, and was unfortunate enough to be shot down in Vietnam, and was kind of giving up for dead, and I was told I would never fly again.
And now you laid in the jungle.
Well, I did for a little while, for an afternoon, and they got me back, and went through a year in the hospital, 15 surgeries, and was lucky enough to get back to fly in the Air Force, and went on to fly A7s, A10s, F5s, and did a lot of different things, and I applied to fly the world's fastest jet, the SR-71, which required an astronaut physical, which
a second physical.
Made me somewhat of a story in the Air Force, which I didn't really want to be, but I was very lucky to get to do that. So only 93 men in history got to fly the SR-71, and I always say I probably appreciated it more than the other 92, just because of where I'd come from. So I had 20 years of flying jets in the Air Force, and 4 years in the SR-71. I was very, very proud of that. And as a sidelight, photography was one of my main passions, so I was always carrying a camera around.
Right.
And got permission to take pictures of the SR when I could, and now have the world's rarest collection of SR photos, which I use in my slideshow because I'm now an inspirational speaker all over the world, and I tell my story from laying dead in the jungle to flying the world's fastest jet. There's a story there, and I use the airplane slides as a vehicle to tell the broader story, so it's very appealing to groups of all types, not just aviation groups.
And just one side note with it, and he didn't mention this, I think he's too humble, but when the astronaut physical that you had to go through, now you passed it with how many waivers?
Well, none, actually.
No waivers.
Yeah, no waivers, yeah. I was very motivated, and I was very lucky again. You'll hear that word lucky a lot. I had no internal injuries. I had no broken bones. I was burned really badly, but luckily my eyes were still good. And also the things that are most critical to the physical I was able to do. The scar tissue, everybody was worried about how that was going to, and I guess it was kind of an issue at first, but it never really had any impact. So I was lucky enough to pass, and had 20 years in the cockpit, which is something that's hard to do, because they always want you to go be a colonel or a general and do a staff job, and I didn't really want to do that. So now I use my photography as a vehicle, like I said, to tell my story, and I now do a lot of nature photography. I don't do as much aviation photography anymore. Now I'm in shooting birds with the cameras. The nature's pure flyers. So.
Instead of hitting them with a plane.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
shooting them with a camera.
Hopefully, I don't
want to stay away from birds. So what would be, now I have 18 hours so far. So I'm this far into an aviation career. So you tell me, what's the best advice you can give me as a brand new pilot?
Well, get a good instructor, listen to them, and you know, approach it as a very serious thing that it could hurt you. I think a lot of people fly. There's a lot of pilots. Mm-hmm. There's very few aviators. Anybody can get a pilot's license today. It's quite easy, and it's fairly safe. And you know, but very few people put the time and study in and to really become good aviators. The preparation, the flight planning, the reading and studying, learning the airplane, learning the weather, learning. So I would say be all in or not, because it can hurt you really fast and it can kill you. And people don't think of it that way because it seems so safe, and general aviation is pretty safe today. But there's a lot of people flying around that I don't think are so safe sometimes, that aren't really looking around or doing all the things that as professionals we were trained to do in the military. And it's a little scary. So I would say, you know, apply yourself. If it's something you love, do it fully. And
I love it.
It'll scare you a few times, and it should.
It does. We got plenty of scaring. So thank you for talking to us today, and thank you for your service.
It was my pleasure to be here, and happy to do it.
All right.